My first initial thought was, why the frick am I here?
The director did a good job at making someone who doesn't want to watch that leave the movie like, oh, that was actually good, but I'm never going to do that again. So people are just sick of those cookie-cutter politicians like, Kamala is, like Nikki Haley is, and Trump is different. Welcome back to Mixed Realities. It's been a while, really long time, because my job got really crazy, and so I had no time, and then it made me want to realize that what I was doing was not my passion, so I quit. And then it took 3 years, not 3 years, 3 weeks to quit.
Yeah, but also like no time means like literally no time, like having to skip dinner, not just like, oh, I have no time to do anything, just so you know, he had no time, literally, not even to work out.
Yeah, that was a big thing, not being able to work out. And, like, I have clients already myself, not many, but I still have a select few of clients. So I'm working 50, 60 hours a week for them, and then 20 to 30, 40 hours a week for my clients. So I'm working like 80 to 100 hours a week consistently.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any time to focus on this. But that's going to change.
No, but I am so proud of you for just like realizing how big of a problem and how much time means to people. Like time over everything. Time means so much more than money. So I am proud of you for, because I mean, like quitting a job and obviously just going through changes sucks. But you held yourself first. Yeah. With all of those decisions and your family and us, so we thank you.
You're welcome. I would like to thank my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother for helping me in this decision, and then my beautiful girlfriend.
The dogs.
No, but that's going back to your thing. Like, if you have a job, there's a post where it's like there's 4 types of wealth. There's time wealth, financial wealth, like freedom. I forget, but it was like 4 different types of wealth, and it's like be wary of jobs that social wealth was one of them. And it was like be wary of jobs that gives you 2 of these but takes away the other 2. And that's kind of what this job did. It kind of was making decent money if you included my clients, and I just didn't have time to work out. One of the big things was just not being able to work out.
Which is absurd.
Like we did that challenge last year. I lost 15 pounds. I almost gained like I wouldn't say 80%. I would say like 50, 60% of it back.
You like say it like, oh, we didn't have time to work out. Wake up at 4 a.m. It's like, oh no, he was up at 4 a.m. working. Yeah, literally, just did not have time to work out.
Well, but not going to sleep. My schedule was I would stay up till 3 a.m. working.
So I don't know. So I think I came to this realization a long time ago. How like, money is a lot. Money means a lot. You can live your life the way you want to when you have money. But if you are in a situation or in a place that like doesn't serve you mentally or emotionally, get out of there. Mm-hmm. It's not worth it.
Yeah, and I was lucky. This is the so important. I guess one of the things why I really harp on is like find a side hustle. And so like I have that small hand of clients where I'm making a decent living. Like I'm making a little decent. I guess the exact number is just under $40,000 with my clients, just them. So it's not a lot, but it's enough to be like, okay, I can live off of this until I either gain more clients or find a job that's more locally where I don't have to spend my hours. So it's like if you could find a side hustle, you have so much freedom in finding a main source of income.
Yeah, I think we've talked on this before, like how you shouldn't be like shamed on yourself if you do work 2 jobs.
Exactly.
And one of them's your passion, one of them's not. Just to, freaking not live in the trenches.
Yeah.
Blada blada, whatever.
And like the reason why I slowed down my agency and stopped getting new clients was because the clients I was getting were a bunch of marketing clients and a bunch of social media management. And my passion's with creating content and creating. Yeah. And so I was essentially just doing what I was doing for myself at the agency for this job. And I was like, wait, I closed down my business essentially, or shrunk it so not to do this. But now I'm doing it for someone else because it originally didn't start like that. Started with just creating content, but then in the first 3 months they promoted me to a director's position. So then that like changed the whole dynamic of everything.
Yeah, and it was funny being like, okay, like I'm not gonna say just your girlfriend, but I am just your girlfriend, and I'm not your wife. But to I'm saying that because like you'll date certain guys that like don't work as much.
Yeah.
And, like, you have to learn a dynamic. And for you to work as much as you did when we first started living together, and it was, like, flat out, like, you're not going to interrupt my work, basically. But then for you to get a job that it was worse than when we first started, like, when we first started dating, the whole relationship dynamic was just... I don't know, it was a lot. But anyway, changes. Lots of changes. But We've been hitting with a bunch of changes.
Yeah, but now it allows us to open up and do things. Like now I have a block schedule and I'm able to make my days off the same as her days off now.
We went hiking.
We went hiking and then to the movie.
Honestly, Tuesdays are off days. It's amazing. Love it. We also have been dedicating our mornings. Honestly, thank you so much, Daylight Savings Time.
I like this
because we love this time of year. Our bodies love it. We wake up, we work out before we start our day. I feel like we spend our mornings together more when it's this season.
Yeah.
So love that. The changes are here. We're welcoming them. But what the heck was I going to say? Oh, we went hiking last Tuesday on a rainy day. I've never been hiking on a rainy, overcast day.
Yeah, kind of.
It was
changes the dynamic of hiking a little bit.
Yeah, and it was like spooky and so just like November coated. It was amazing.
We'll play some videos over there.
Yeah, but it was amazing.
And like when you're hiking, it made the boring parts of a traditional hike where you're just kind of like in the brush where you don't see the views. It made that part honestly more fun because you look around and it looks like you're in like a battle scene, like a medieval battle scene where you're just gonna see a bunch of people just running at each other or a demon come out and just.
It was pretty cool. But honestly, like one of our biggest goals is just like go outside more.
Yeah, and
in general, and just have dates that where you really just don't have to spend money on. I think like when we work so much and our schedules are not aligned, most of our dates are going out and spending money when it just does not have to be that way.
Yeah,
especially where we live. So thank God for changes. We're loving that. It's November 6th. Thanksgiving soon. Your mom's birthday soon. Your birthday soon.
Yeah, there's a lot of things coming up. But we did. We went to the movies.
Yeah, we went. Oh my God!
We saw. We saw the movie Terrifier 3. We had not seen the first two, so we read the reviews, and it was supposed to be scary. And I guess you go into your thoughts of the movie, and if you actually thought it ended up being scary or not.
So first of all, I thought it was just a scary movie. I didn't really look into it that much. Also, I feel like the trailer's kind of deceiving.
Yeah, it made it seem scary.
It's a little bit deceiving. Like, it's more scary. But also, I mean, like, what does that categorize? Like, gore?
Yeah.
Like, is it gore? Is that a category? Like, gore?
Gore is, I think, a category. And the thing is, like, it says horror. And the reviews, people... And even the guy walking out, who's like, oh, that was so scary.
He was with his mom.
I did not find it scary at all. I found it funny and disgusting. Like, disgusting and like that. What the? Like, am I watching this right now? What? And then I would laugh and I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny.
Okay, so they're also known as the splatter genre. Gory movies and splatter genre. Okay. So my take on it,
makes sense.
I was not prepared for a gore. Please, if you like gore, first of all, if you like gore and if killing's your thing, go for it. Like, I think you will enjoy it. If you are prepared to see gore, and go for it. But if you aren't, or even if you haven't seen gore in such a long time, please don't watch it.
But I've never even seen gore like that.
I don't think I've seen gore.
So I don't know, like when you're saying if you're used to gore, like I'm like, no, like, I've seen the saws and whatnot, but I didn't.
Let me take you on a first-hand experience. So I'm literally sitting in this movie theater, and
she cried in the first minute. She literally cried in the first minute of the film.
I'm literally about to cry right now. Before the name of the movie comes out, you know how they play the little whatever before they put the name of the movie on the screen? I'm in tears. I'm full-blown.
Spoiler alert, just in case she says a spoiler, but keep going.
No, so sorry, but I am full-blown crying. Just like, and I'm laughing hard at the same time because I cannot believe what I'm watching. And my first initial thought was, why the frick am I here? I was literally like, why am I here?
Yeah.
And at that moment, I regretted my decision. We were 1 minute in.
Yeah.
1 minute in, I regretted my decision.
That's just, I don't want to spoil too much, but you know a movie doesn't really give a F if they kill kids. Like, openly kill kids. And, like, as soon as I saw a kid die, I was like, what the heck am I watching right now? But at the end of the day, I hate those type of movies. I will never watch this movie ever again. But I thought it was good. Like, seeing these type of limbs just be brutally, in some cases, the most absurd way of getting ripped off is not something I want to watch. But the director did a good job at making someone who doesn't want to watch that leave the movie like, oh, that was actually good, but I'm never going to do that again.
So it's like, if y'all have seen The Boys,
you cannot compare.
Like in my brain before we watched it, I was like, I've seen The Boys, I've seen the Cleaner Saria diet, and I'm like, I'll be fine. I was not, like, I'm not okay. That movie scarred me. I literally looked at Weston and I was like, how is this legal?
It felt like if you ever were into those like live links or like Reddit, like where you saw like the beheadings, like it was just like that, but every scene was just a recycle of something that just got worse and worse and worse. And then, you know, it started off, they didn't show it. And I was like, okay, I can maybe get through this. You just killed a kid off screen. Okay. Then you showed his body parts everywhere. I'm like, okay, this is really messed up. But as long as you're not showing it, and then, of course, they start showing it and showing it.
But I'm
and
also like, thank God we were on Tuesdays. And like, we were like, thank God the movie's half off today.
Yeah. Tuesdays, our movie theater is $6 a piece. So I'm like, I'm glad I did not pay full price for these. But if you like that type of stuff, or if you honestly, I would recommend anyone to go see it if you have a once. If you're fine with, if you can handle that type of stuff, I'm fine with seeing any Terrifier. Like, if they come out with a fourth one, I'm not seeing it. I know what I'm gonna get into. Not my cup of tea. But I can say I saw the third one and I came out like, this is good, but never gonna do it again.
But shout out to the actor because he was amazing.
The clown? Yeah, he did so well. That's not the first thing I thought of. I mean, honestly, I guess he did. It was kind of funny. They did a good job. I'm like, like there's this one girl that like he's brutally murdering.
It's like you're watching the movie and they do something and it's like, this is still for entertainment.
Well, let me explain. He's literally like brutally murdering these people. This one girl, and then this other girl who's the main character. Instead of murdering her, he just slaps her every time he walks by her. And just, like you're like, why are you slapping her? Every time you walk by her.
After the first one, I was like, okay, what the heck was that? Then he kept doing it.
Yeah, and then he's a clown, so he's like funny, and then, but the director, I think his name is Damien Lennon or something like that. Phenomenal job. If you like, he got someone that would never watch something like that to enjoy it, but then leaving it like, I'm never doing that again.
I like,
and I keep saying that because that's truly how I feel.
I like disrespected myself though because I feel like
I felt dirty watching that.
I feel like that's the reason why I don't listen to like certain music and certain like rap music, and like ghetto music because it makes me feel a certain way, or like just
it's like
very
listening
trashy
to Stitches.
music.
You know the rapper?
No.
I put cocaine in your eyes.
Yes. So it's like my nervous system really doesn't need that. Yeah. So like after the movie, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, I was like,
I felt like I just like ruined a kid's life, or just like
and then like another reason why I want to like warn people about this is because like as a kid growing up, I would watch Conjuring, Insidious, and like I feel like being 13 years old and seeing like a rated R scary movie is fine, but if you're do not take your 13-year-old kid to this movie.
So like, they have to. They're supposed to ID you, and they
didn't ID. Well, we had beers.
We grabbed a beer before because they have beer. Well, I mean, what is it? A bar at the movie theater. But like after I was in there, I was like, I can't believe she didn't ID me just to make sure, like just to make sure, because I don't know how the movie was legal. Congratulations, because people that like gore, I saw the reviews, they really liked that movie. The review sent me. I was so surprised how many people were like, best movie I've ever seen, and wow. That's so
like,
crazy.
If I gave it a review on my like non-personal scale, I would give it like an 8. Like honestly, it's an 8. But it's an 8 where I'm like, I don't have to. This like, franchise dead to me. The next, if there's going to be a 4th one, I'm not watching it.
No, yeah, I'm totally fine.
I'm fine with never watching a Terrifier movie again. But at least I could say I enjoyed the one I watched. And what makes me think
I can see number 3 without seeing 1 or 2? Like
they don't. There's no plot in it really. There's really no big plots. Well, there's no really plot in this one. I mean.
Yeah, but I would imagine. I would imagine they're less scary.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the ending felt like it was trying to be something it wasn't. Like it was trying to turn into like a superhero movie almost.
Yeah, the ending was weird, but that was cool.
But going into transitioning from one crazy clown to another.
Seriously?
What?
Oh my! Keep going.
What?
That was good.
Kamala Harris lost the election. Trump's going to be the new president.
Well, one day we were finding this out, last night, this morning?
Yeah, I stayed up till 2 a.m.
Yeah, because we're not going to post this today, so just so they knew the context, this is the
day after. Yeah, so this is the day after. This is the day after election day, the 5th or the 6th.
As I glanced back, I noticed this lovely Trump book on our bookshelf. You can't see it, but it was just very ironic. It's sitting right there.
Oh, yeah. So I have bought in a book from every president that I've liked, and I bought Obama's book.
Yeah.
Someone stole it, though. My dad's calling me.
You should have answered.
We'll do it. I'll call him. And then, yeah. And then I bought Donald Trump's book because I could not get. Anyways, long story short, I like Obama book and Trump book, and then I haven't bought a Joe Biden book yet though. But anyways, it was surprising to me. I did not think he was. I thought if he would have won, it would be the same type of winning where he would have won just the Electoral College, not the popular vote. I just did not think he could win the popular vote. I just don't. I don't know. I was so surprised of how much of a landslide it was.
It's hard. I don't know. I will just very bluntly be like, it is what it is. But that sounds very childish and stupid. But it's very hard to. We're not gonna get into who we voted for and blah 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 blah. But it's very hard to sit here and we're gonna post this on the internet.
Yeah.
With how upset internet is right now.
Yeah.
And how divided everything is, which is, I mean, I get it obviously, but it's so bizarre how people will form an opinion on you and stop talking to you or unfollow you or be mad at you because you have certain views and voted a certain way.
Yeah.
I feel like it's.
Or I hate when people are on, they cut people down. I can't believe if you voted for Trump, if you voted for Kamala, I cannot be you can't cut people out just because of who they voted for. Now I understand if they're the type of person where it's I I can never, like, if they're doing that to other people, you probably want to cut them out of your life. Like, if there's people that are cutting other people out of their lives because of how they vote, you probably don't want them in your life.
I will say this is one of the most memorable elections since Obama, at least in my generation, since Obama, that we've ever been a part of, to the point where it's like,
I guess Trump
people you don't even, that was huge, but like, in my mind, I'm thinking about Obama and this one, just for like how many people are in the, that just don't ever mention politics or talk about it or even think about speaking about it, that voice their opinions and sing it at concerts and sing it with rappers and Cardi B and podcasts, and our lives and our generation is freaking changing. And I feel like this one was huge.
Yeah.
And
because you had everything from Trump getting arrested.
Yeah.
To Trump getting
shot at. Yeah.
To him working at McDonald's. To then him being a dump truck. And then him being on Joe Rogan.
Yeah. On a podcast, like on YouTube.
And honestly, if Kamala has anyone to blame, she needs to blame her freaking campaign manager who, like, let's be honest, even if she should have went on Joe Rogan, she should have went on all these podcasts, even if she would have done somewhat bad, I feel like it still would have done better for her. Unless she's just that bad at having a normal conversation, then it's like, okay, maybe she shouldn't be. But
I will say this election was very personable, and I feel like if you are someone out there hurting or feeling 20 million thousand emotions that you could be feeling since Kamala didn't win, just, I don't even know, something positive. Suck it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say suck it up. But just like, be true to yourself and keep fighting for what you believe in. Yeah. But don't be mean to other people because they don't share the same beliefs. I have so many friends and so many people that are older than me that I can go up to them and sit with them and have lunch and not have the same beliefs at all, and not get into an argument or try to devalue someone because they believe a certain thing. Yeah. There's a lot of different, and also this election was so many young people and genders. Like, I feel like it was the most talked about, like, with gender and.
Well, like, that's because they had Roe v. Wade come out.
Exactly.
And the thing is, I think people saw through the BS of how the Democrats were saying, like, they're attacking women's rights, which there are in some states where the people in, like, Iowa, for example, they're going too far right on the abortions. But states like California, this actually opens you up to have even more liberal and progressive. So, like, not changing anything. And I think you have people who are in California that are hearing, like, they're going after your rights, they're going after your women's rights, but they're going after women's rights in, like, the radical right, where they're voting them in themselves. Like, it's those abortion laws are now for the states to choose. And so if Iowa is voting it into place, it's literally their own selves voting it into place. And it's also, not being forced upon them, just like what the people in California think. And that's why, you know, I've been seeing people, worked in LA, like some females waking up, I woke up in a country that doesn't love me and I will never be able to prosper in this place to my fullest potential. I'm like, that's complete BS.
That also goes to say that, in my eyes, I love to be an observer. I love to sit back and to hear people and to see how they think and to see what's going on and form my own opinions in my head before I ever speak about them out loud. But because I do that, I've also realized that, which you probably freaking have realized, that the amount of people that formed an opinion on Trump or on Kamala based off one thing that they've done. Yeah. Like one thing being like, okay, Trump's track record is shit, obviously, but like just his personal life. Yeah. And then you get Kamala, who's a woman and she's of color, and that's the one thing you're voting for. There's a lot of different things and list of things that make a president a president. Exactly. You know what I mean?
You should not vote for a politician based off of their color of their skin, their personality, their lives outside of politics. you know, that like you shouldn't vote for them if they're a female or a male. You shouldn't, because politicians it's all about their actions. Like we learned about this as a kid, like actions speak louder than words. And then we forget that when it comes to politics, and you have politicians that just say all these beautiful things, but the actions, when they try to, they never put the things forward. They never push those bills forward, and then they blame it on the other side. And that's why I think Trump won, is because people are just sick of those cookie-colored politicians, like, you know, Kamala is, like Nikki Haley is, like, you know, Pelosi, like on both sides there's just these and people are just, we want something different, and Trump is different, but he's not the different that someone like myself wanted, but it's the different that we got. And so that's why I'm looking forward to 2028, because I hope this loss makes the Democrat side say, hey, we need to change faces. Let's get new faces in there. Let's kind of rebrand, just like how in the 80s there was the rise of the New Democrats, which paves the way for Bill Clinton. I don't want that same more conservative, moderate movement. Yeah. But if there's a more progressive movement that's led by like maybe Dean Phillips or AOC, and then they become more of a populist, I could get behind that. But I'm also behind Tulsi, Byron Donalds, Vivek, and I'm missing someone on the other side. I'm a straight up independent, so I am excited for 2028 presidential election and seeing who our nominees will be.
But the one thing that this election did do was make almost
America great again.
Every person, almost every young person, and just people that didn't vote. This is probably the first year people voted in a while, or if at all.
That's why Trump won. He got like, I don't know the numbers. Let's say he got 60-70% of first-time voters. He got them. So that's how he won.
And in my eyes, not saying that's a win for Trump, that's a win in general, because some people don't grow up around politics and will wait till it's late in their lives before they start. Not saying you have to be obsessed with it, but you should care a bit, and you should vote.
I'm kind of lucky that I grew up in a family that was politics, and I'm looking back, like looking back at seeing how crazy my family members were when it came to politics, and like, because I remember my mom lecturing some of my friends in politics, and like that was fine. But then now looking back, I'm like, I don't think my mom should have been lecturing my friends about why they need to vote for Obama. And then I would go to my friend's house, and my friend's parents would talk to me sometimes about my political thing, and I'm like, I don't know anything about this.
But last thing on that, any lasting words on the election?
I think there's a bunch of stuff we still haven't covered.
I know, but there's so much to before you spew aside.
What do you mean?
Also, did you see Candace Owens' hat?
So Candace Owens, I do not condone much of what she says, but she does say some legitimate points. But her hat make Kamala Indian again. Yo, that was the most savage hat that I've
This is also the first time in literally crying. This is also the first time in forever that I've seen people, grown adults in the public eye, so ruthless online. Just everyone just being ruthless.
What bit her in the ass was when she said she wouldn't, like, I think it was on the Breakfast Club in 2019 when she was the VP candidate, or maybe she might have been still running in the primary. She straight up said that she wouldn't pass laws strictly for black people.
Yeah.
And that turned off a lot of black people, because
Well, then people forget that.
From someone like myself,
think she's just a woman. And
like reparations, I could get behind reparations if it made sense, because America, we've done it for Native Americans. Native Americans have reservations, and then also they're like the first. They have something like some type of law. Maybe. The screen about gambling. They're allowed to own casinos, while other people in America can't, or they don't have to get certain licenses for their casinos. So it's like maybe we could do something like that for where it's like native. It would have to be literally you, not just if you're black, you'd have to be a descendant of slaves.
Yeah.
And I feel I could get behind something like that, but that's what she said. She wouldn't even think about that. And that's what I think turned off a lot of the black vote of not coming out in waves like they did for Obama. Obama, I couldn't vote, but I was an Obama supporter. And he the way he would able to articulate his words, he felt like there was change. He felt like he had swag to him. She lacked that swag. She lacked that, like, the videos of each of her rallies, she's saying the same exact thing over and over and over again. That's why I said whoever's writing her speeches and her campaign manager really failed her. She should be pissed at them because now I don't think she can run again. Like
I don't think she can.
She can technically, but like, who's gonna vote for her? Like, you just lost to Donald Trump, and you guys been saying he's the worst presidential candidate ever, and then your candidates are losing to him. So what makes your candidate the worst? Worse?
Yeah,
worser than the worst. But I feel like that's why we need to stop this rhetoric on both sides, just saying this candidate's a Nazi. Those candidates are taking your rights. Just point out the BS that they're doing behind the scenes, and I feel like that's more than enough than going after each other's characters.
Also, just like keep educating yourself.
Yeah,
because I feel like some people literally voted for Kamala because even though she didn't win, because she was a woman, and her rights are up for grabs. Like, without even looking at both sides.
Yeah.
To women's rights and what was going on. Like, some people, she's a woman, we're just going to vote for her. Like, didn't even just. It's just so hard to talk to people that are so one-sided and have one-sided opinions on someone who's going to rule our freaking country. Like, that makes no sense to me.
Like, you shouldn't vote for someone just because you're trying to make them the first of something. You know? Just because, they shouldn't, just because she's a woman, just because you want the first woman president doesn't mean you need to vote for the first woman candidate. I guess she's not the first woman candidate, but.
Yeah, and I love Cardi B, but I feel like that was so inappropriate for her to be at. I'm no one. Don't come for me. Not inappropriate, just so interesting for her to be at.
Well, she's been political before, but
Cardi B.
Yeah, she talks about politics quite often, actually.
I think I missed all that.
But she's like the Democrats.
In her songs, she doesn't. Rather, not Cardi B. Her songs.
Oh no, but different. Well, yeah, but she's like. Been open, like she's had an interview with Bernie Sanders before, where she interviewed Bernie Sanders in AOC. Like interviewed them, like in like a.
Yeah, I'm talking about rap music, not a person.
Of course, they're not gonna rap about it in their songs. I support Kamala Harris, like.
No, that was an opinion. I genuinely thought it was weird for the certain music to be at Kamala's.
Oh, like
thing.
Meg Thee Stallion, like when Meg Thee Stallion, when she's like dancing, twerking on stage and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's who cares about what your songs are.
But this is the problem with the Democrats. They get so many celebrity endorsements that it makes someone like an independent like me like, ugh. Like, why are all these rich celebrities that are so out of touch with society endorsing someone? Like, I don't care who they vote for, and it honestly kind of gets, because it's always like an awkward endorsement. Like, it's like them either talking together.
Well, I just feel like they have followers. I feel like they shouldn't be involved at all.
Well, I get it. They're trying to voice their opinion, but it's just, to me, it's cringe. Like, when I'm seeing like, we need to fight against democracy. This is the most important election in history. I'm like, you've been saying that about every election.
Interesting times.
But. I'm excited to see, because RFK is going to be in his cabinet, and it's funny how now people on the left are like saying RFK is going to go after big pharma, take down FDAs and all these the FBI and all these media agencies and corporations. But isn't that what you guys wanted? But now that the Republicans are doing it, you don't want it no more. I don't get it. I don't know. But anyways, and we're back. I forget what we were talking about, but we were talking about the elections, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think the one crazy thing about this election. I already said that, you know, he won the popular vote, but like he made like gains in every county. Remember that viral video of that guy reacting of like it was like, these are the gains that Kamala Harris made in this election so far. And it turns onto the graph and it's 0. And the CNN reporter was like,
literally kept saying literally like 4 times.
Literally nothing. But it just kind of shows you, and it's crazy. Like if you're looking on like Fox, Google, ABC, all their electoral maps are different in how they're calling it.
Yeah.
And like you'll see like one state called by Fox, but then if you go to ABC, it's not even close to being called yet. It's like, why are these all different? Like, why aren't they all very close? Are they like purposely like they know who their voters, like their viewers are, so they don't want their viewers to like tune out like right away?
Could be. It was very interesting to see people's sides once the election was over. People that just you followed for years and years or no close.
A lot more Trump supporters than I thought.
Just peek out a little political post or something.
50 Cent, like, was not expecting him to post it, but then I kind of got the feeling once Trump got shot and then 50 did the concert in the club with him in the background. And I was like, oh, Trump supporter maybe? But then he posted the picture today. But I think the one thing that we can look forward to in this election, in 2016 when Trump won, there was 3 days of riots in Portland and across the country. In 2020 when Trump won or lost, there was January 6th and that big riot in January 6th, which is now like what's we known as January 6th. As of right now, there's no rioting. There might be some protesting, but we as a country have gone to 2 back-to-back elections of crazy aftermath. So if you are a Trump supporter and saying, you know, come on, like, or if you're a Democrat that says Republicans cannot have a peaceful transfer of power, and their supporters are crazy, look back at 2016. If you're a Republican and say the same thing about I'm getting that wrong. But anyways, just look at both sides over the past 2 elections have not allowed the peaceful transfer of power as the people.
Also, get off socials.
Exactly.
If it's hurting you to your core, personally victimized by the American government, get off socials because ain't nothing good gonna come from it. Nothing's good gonna come from seeing political posts one after the other when I'm not going to say it's not that big of a deal, but to your personal day-to-day life, don't be mad and have hatred.
Yeah. I think
in your being, which is just absurd.
I think like one thing that's causing people to be so political nowadays is because less people are becoming religious. So it's like people are like replacing their religion almost with politics. I feel like
that's a reach, but I could see it.
Like I feel like some people might be like they don't have like I'm not religious, but like maybe if I was, I would be less political. Maybe or more. I don't know. That's a reach. Never mind.
I don't know. It's being political and like having opinions is a very hard conversation for me because when I first started being around people that are very political, I would just sit and listen. Because I would I felt I'm never going to put in my 2 cents.
Like meeting my mom for the first time, remember that?
Yeah, but I'm just never going to put in my 2 cents after meeting you for the first time. Mm-hmm. Or I want to see how one-sided you are. I want to see how open-minded you are. I want to do research so I can back up the claims I'm having in my head, judging you about what you're saying. I also think that you can have a conversation and not a screaming fight. And I think that just is something that I will never get behind. I will never sit in a room and scream at someone over politics. Like, it's just not who I am. And I think there's so many other things to put your emotions and your anger to. So I don't know. If you can't just coincide, exist equally with someone who doesn't have the same political views as you, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. And I think this is like, some people are going to be really butthurt after this election, but please don't just like try to end a friendship or end like a freaking
And don't blame it.
It's just so hard to like and I feel like being like us posting on the internet, it's so hard to like, oh, we don't want to say the wrong thing. Oh, but I'm just voicing my opinion. Oh, but you're also like, I feel like the problem is people that voice their opinions are also speaking to people that don't have an open mind and aren't open-minded. It's just very one-sided. And that is when you start screaming and things start freaking going out. Just don't do it. So much energy, can't do it. And like you too, yeah.
But I'm independent. I'm on both sides.
It does not matter. If you are raising your voice and screaming at someone over politics, I think there is...
I don't do that, though, so...
I just think it shouldn't be done. Unless it's like you're in a heated argument, like you're sitting down and that's what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
So
like
that normally like disregards what my family, we do debate politics quite often. And it's annoying because every time I go to an event, I feel like I'm the one people like to debate because they know I'll debate them. Yeah,
I usually just shut up at this time.
And normally I try to avoid them. Like I'm sitting there not saying anything, and then I try coming in a very neutral way and see how that flows. And then if like they don't agree, like I try to find the most neutral thing possible for this to enter the conversation. But then if it doesn't get taken, then I know I'm in for a long night. Like I'm like, oh crap, you were supposed to like agree with this. Like fuck. I thought you were gonna agree with what I was just gonna say. Never mind.
Anyway, congrats Trump. Sorry Kamala. Another note, something cool has been happening. Our Etsy has actually been having sales since the last time we've talked.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned that maybe briefly last time, but yeah, dropping off. What are we selling the most of? SD card readers?
Yeah, SD cards.
Which is pretty cool.
Or holders, SD card holders.
Shout out Etsy, shout out internet.
But
I love you.
Yeah, if you need an SD card holder, go to our store. I'm going to be posting more. We're going to be posting a podcast every week now. And then just also content as a whole. So
living the life like it's golden.
Peace.
See ya.